In this video, I help Briar to raise her rates and prevent sticker shock. Before I dive in, I should let you know that Briar actually doesn't need to raise her rates because her rates are already risen, but she is experiencing sticker shock. I've phrased the intro in that way though, because I know there are going to be plenty of people who will be watching this who want to raise their rates, but they're worried about people's reactions and people saying, oh no. The tips that I'm going to give here will help those people, as well as anybody out there who might be in Briar's exact situation, which is they have high ticket prices, but are still experiencing people at the end of a free consult saying, oh. Let me explain what Briar does in her business. She has two parts. On the one hand, she's a systems expert for sensitive people. She runs that side as a coaching business, doing one-on-one coaching. It does a high ticket offer and has no problems with people wanting to pay her rates. On the other hand, she works as a consultant for mainly authors, I believe, but I would imagine there would probably be other business industries that she works for as an online marketer, and she does content creation and sales funnels. And on that side of the business, despite her being upfront about her rates, she is experiencing people being a little shocked by her prices. So what I'm going to look at is I will be looking at her website, because that is her main way of finding people, that and referrals. So it's going to be a little different to the usual. I'm not going to be diving into social media as much today. Now, before I dive in, just two quick things from me. The first one is, if you happen to like this video, please let me know. Click the thumbs up button, click subscribe, and you will receive more videos like this with tips for your online business and attracting clients. I am Tiffany from Tiffany G Studios, and I am a content marketing specialist with 8 years experience in online marketing for businesses all around the world. And I'm also creator of the Content Mastery Academy, which you will see on the screen. It is a monthly membership where I walk online business owners through a 6-step process for them to create their own system of client attraction using content marketing. And it's a system that suits their unique needs. So it's not the same system for everyone. If you'd like to know more about that stuff, there will be links in the description. Now, let's dive in. Briar's business. This is her website, her main form of lead generation. And I like how when you come here, it's really different to what you see around the internet everywhere else. I like how there's this very strong personality. There's, hi, this is me, and you know you need systems. So even though she talks about herself, she immediately dives into what her ideal clients are looking for on her coaching side with systems. And I love how she walks through things, and most productivity advice is BS, and it's the legacy of an economy, and some of those things that just make her a bit different. And it leads into this squeeze page and them giving the name and email details. Normally I would generally recommend to have something that you're offering. So rather than just let me help you create systems, it could be sign up for some kind of opt-in. But I feel like if they're already here and they've gotten through these things, then they may still sign up, because it's very clear what she walks through, what she stands for, her personality all comes through, and that kind of thing. Although later I will have a couple of opt-in ideas for her on that side of things. I do like that this is very much tailored for her ideal client, because they are looking for something that's simple, it's easy, it's not so overwhelming, and this is laid out in that way. I also love how over on her blog, she has this excellent blog post here for where she walks through how to create long-form content and explains what skyscraper content is. And I was definitely using this to brush up on my skills, that's for sure. She has a great way of writing that really draws you in. She also creates content which is more personal and explains more of the behind the scenes and of her life, which I also found really engaging. So definitely come and check that out. Now, over on her Work With Me page, this is where we start getting into finding where the stuff is for the consulting people. This very small part here on the Work With Me page. There is also a link to her price list, and it says single session packages start at $500. Now, if it was me, I would definitely scratch that. The way her coaching is formed, where it says packages start at $3,000 for 3 months, I would put in I work on a monthly retainer and push her monthly retainer packages, and they start at, and I would probably go for the 3,000 if I heard her skills and background. And in fact, when I have had her skills and background, I have gone at the higher ticket offerings, starting at that kind of price. So just on her price list, you can see she's got the one-off sessions and then the monthly retainers. And I think if it's working on the coaching side at that price point, then maybe the point is to up the price point on the consulting and just really go there. The other thing that I would do is at the bottom of this page, there is here to book in the free consultation call. It's not clear as to whether or not that's for the coaching or the consulting, but I did test it out, and in the questions that you're asked, one of the questions that needs to be on there is, what is your budget for working with me? It pertains to both sides of the business, but you have the minimum as the $3,000, or you could put it as the minimum as the $1,000. But I wouldn't do the one-off sessions. I would commit to packages and go for it. Briar definitely has the background and can work with that. I think she has the background and the experience to work at that level. The other thing I would do is create an additional page for consulting clients, and much like she has the homepage set up here that sort of walks people through this process of who she is and what she can do for them, have something like that as just an extra page. I'm unsure as to whether or not maybe the consulting is a means to an end and the coaching is where she wants to go in the future, or whether or not she wants to continue both going forward. If it was both going forward, then maybe a separate website. But if it's not, then in the meantime, just create a page, because that's easier to get set up. And have a page that walks people through that process for consulting and tell them what you expect from working with them, and that you're not for everyone, and the results you get for people, and the pain points that they're having on the consulting side. And try and get people, before they book a call with you, to go through that page and have the call booking part at the bottom of that page, and make sure you have that question in the form, the sign up form before booking a call, which says what is the budget you have for this project, and also who makes the decision about spending the money if it's for a business where there's partners, that kind of thing. The other thing I would suggest is perhaps working in the blog content. Now, she explained to me that she receives people coming to her for consulting from search engine optimization. And I can see how she's doing that with this how to write a post thing. Although if that's also for the coaching clients, then that really works for them and that's fantastic. On the consulting side though, I wonder if perhaps people might actually be, when they're at that price where they're willing to pay $3,000 a month, they either already know how to do this because they've been doing it themselves to build up a business to that point, or they understand the value of paying for somebody else's skills. In that case, they're not looking for how to write content. They are looking for how to hire someone, what questions to ask, how to work with them. And that's the kind of content you could be putting out there in order to increase that kind of SEO and get attraction that way. I think that it helps educate the people that you want to work with you. You start subtly putting in the traits that you want from someone who is willing to invest in themselves. I know it's such a cliche, that phrase, but it's there for a reason. And Briar has really great skills of cutting through cliches and getting the right words out there, so I'm sure she can break that down into something. I'm doing stuff off the top of my head, which is why it's coming out in cliches. But you get what I'm talking about. Or at least I hope you do. If you don't, let me know in the comments, but hopefully you get where I'm coming from. So that is how I would approach that situation. The other things that I would do in terms of attracting new clients could be, in terms of on the coaching side, creating maybe an opt-in, because I expect that Briar's stronger skills are going to be more in writing than maybe being on camera. That's why I'm not necessarily suggesting a webinar, although webinars are definitely great for getting people interested and attracting new coaching clients, which was another question that she asked me. But I would suggest doing an opt-in. I would take this stuff here about the different stuff about systems and maybe create an opt-in like 10 reasons why all productivity advice is bullshit and what to do instead. And then in that opt-in, she could talk through the pain points, her thoughts on systems, and what she does instead. And then that way she could have an email sequence that supports that stuff and leads into people signing up to work with her. Those are the types of things that I would suggest on that side. And equally, she could do something on the other side, on the consulting arm, in order to attract people on that side. And for that side of things, I think that could work, because I wonder if being posted on the Readsy site is where she's finding people who don't want to invest in the consulting. But I don't know for sure. I only had a quick look over at Readsy. So it being seeming a bit like a Upwork.com, but just for authors and writers, was my initial take on it. That brings me to the end of my suggestions for Briar's business in terms of raising her prices and attracting the right clients who have no problems paying high ticket prices for consulting, and also in attracting some coaching clients. If you want to check out more about Briar, I'm sure I've done her a fantastic solid in showing what she does and what she does really well, what we can all learn from her. And there are links to her business in the description below. If you want to know more about some of my suggestions and what I have been talking about, you can find out more from me in the comments or come and check out the Content Mastery Academy. That's it from me. Until next time, bye for now.